Good evening, friends. Today I am going to discuss a novel, The Namesake, written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri is one of the popular diasporic writers of India. She is Indian by ancestry, British by birth, and American by citizenship. She is born. She was born in UK in 1967 to Bengali parents. Her original name was Nilanjana Sudesna. She adopted her nickname Jhumpa from her kindergarten teacher in Rhode Island. She wrote many works like The Interpreter of Melodies in 1999, for which she was awarded with Pulitzer Prize in 2000. So, as I have already said, Jhumpa Lahiri is an Indian by ancestry, British by birth, and American by citizenship. She is the daughter of Bengali parents Amor and Tapati, who immigrated from Kolkata, India to the United States of America. She completed her BA in English Literature and MA in English and Creative Writing and PhD in Renaissance Studies. She is the winner of Pulitzer Award for her short story collection Interpreter of Melodies in 2000. Her first novel, The Namesake, was published in September 2003. She is a reputed diasporic writer of immigrant life of the Indians. Some of the features of her works are the immigrant experience of her characters, romantic relationships and friendships, conflict of the two worlds, one Indian, another American, feeling of nostalgia and memories of the past, sense of alienation and loneliness, quest for naming and identity, blending of cultures or multiculturalism, feeling of homesickness. Namesake has 12 chapters. So the novel has third person omniscient narrator. There are three settings of the novel: Calcutta, Massachusetts, and New York. Let us now discuss the list of characters of the novel. Our hero is Gugul Ganguly, the protagonist, named after the Russian author Nikolai Gogol. He struggles with his identity as an Indian American. Gugul's mother is Ashima Ganguly, who moves from India to America after marrying Ashok. She faces the challenges of a new culture with new friends and neighbors. Ashok Ganguly is Gugul's father, who immigrates to America and tries to balance his American heritage with his new life in the United States. Mousumi Mojumdar is Gugul's love interest and later becomes his wife. He also struggles with her identity, torn between her Indian heritage and American upbringing. Sonia Ganguly is Gugul's younger sister who grows up navigating the complexities of being a second generation immigrant in America. Ben is her boyfriend. Ruth is Google's first girlfriend. Maxine Ratliff is Google's second girlfriend. Gerald and Lydia Ratliff are wealthy parents of Maxine. Hank and Edith are Maxine's grandparents. Mousumi Mojumdar has relations with many boys like Graham in America. They developed friendship and affair in Paris. Later on, Dimitri Desjardins was also a boyfriend of Mousumi. He is also a present boyfriend towards the end of the story. Another character is Ghosh, who advises Ashok to build up his career before establishing and taking family responsibility. Chapter wise now summary. Let us discuss chapter 1 and 2. The story Namesake tells the story of Gugul Ganguly, a boy born to Indian immigrant parents in America. The novel follows Gugul from childhood to adulthood as he navigates his identity, caught between his Indian heritage and his American upbringing. One of the main themes of the novel is the struggle of immigrants to find a place in a new country amidst new culture, new people, while still holding on to their roots. Google faces this challenge as he grapples with his name, which his parents gave him after the Russian writer Nikolai Gogol, and which he feels disconnected from. Throughout the novel, Gogol tries to define himself apart from his parents' expectations and the traditions of his Indian heritage. He changes his name, dates American girls, tries to distance himself from his family customs. He eventually comes to realize the importance of his Indian heritage and begins to embrace it. Namesake is also the story of two generations of the Gangulis Indian immigrants to England and USA. The story begins in 1968 with Ashok and Osima, a newly married couple from Calcutta arrived in America in the 1960s to live in a small apartment in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Ashok was a student of electrical engineering at MIT, while Osima missed her homeland, India. They had an arranged marriage in Kolkata, India, where Osima spent most of her life before marriage. They navigate the challenges of adapting to a new culture while holding on to their Bengali traditions in Calcutta, India. It was 1961 when Ashok was a student. He made a terrible train accident on his journey from Calcutta to Jamshedpur to meet his grandfather, in which he barely survived and then went abroad in search of a career. Rescue workers found him owing to his blowing pages of a book he was reading, a page of the collected short stories of the Russian writer Nikolai Gogol. Living in foreign country without friend circle is too much painful and irritating for Oshima. She feels lonely and homesick. She is always waiting for letters from Kolkata. In the year 1968, they are waiting to welcome their first child in the family. Their baby boy is born in foreign milieu. Ashok and Oshima wait for their son's good name to come in later from Oshima's grandmother in India. Ashok thinks how lucky his son is and how different his life will be from Ashok's own life. But Osima's viewpoint is something different, and she thinks how difficult her son's life will be. She pities him because he will grow up all alone without friends, siblings, or cousins. They must give a temporary pet name, Gogol, after the name of Ashok's most favorite Russian author, Nikolai Gogol, in the hospital. So they agree on the same name, Gogol, because Nikolai Gogol was the writer whose book saved Ashok's life from the terrible train accident in India. Osima's father passed away from a heart attack a year later. The family then travels to Calcutta for 6 weeks earlier than initially intended for the funeral. It was in 1971 the family then shipped to Harvard Square and buy a house on Pemberton Road with no Bengali friends nearby. Osima feels nostalgic for India. Google is now growing up. In the meantime, Ashok is hired as an assistant professor in electrical engineering. When Google starts schooling in a kindergarten school, preferring his pet name, his parents decide to change his name Nikhil, as Osima's grandmother's letter is lost in the mail. Google feels irritated by the idea of changing his name. In 1973, when Google was only 5 years old, after spending 2 years in the new town, Osima is expecting her second child, a baby girl, Sonia. Now, Google and Sonia are the harbingers of the American culture, American influence in the house they bring. They adopt Christmas as the main festival. They also bring American food items, language, and their culture. Chapter 4 begins in 1982 on Google's 14th birthday. So his parents throw a grand party for his 14th birthday. Google has two celebrations, one that is typically American and another that is Bengali. Also gives Gogol a birthday present, that is the short story collection of Nikolai Gogol. The parents take their children often to regular social gatherings with their Bengali friends and make extended trips to Calcutta as well. Ashok is up for sabbatical, a long holiday at the university. Then the family came to live with relatives for long 8 months in Calcutta, where Google and Sonia feel themselves like outsiders because India is a foreign country to them, though they see their parents enjoy as if it is their own home. Google and Sonia spend most of the time indoors. Then the family take a family trip to Delhi and the Taj Mahal. The language barrier arises as an issue as Google and Sonia grow older. After expiry of 8 months, the family then goes back to Pemberton Road, America. The parents decided to send the boys to learn Bengali language and culture, and they arrange classes every other Saturday. Gogol starts his junior year of high school and learning English with Mr. Lawson, who teaches Gogol to read a story by Nikolai Gogol. The name of the story is The Overcoat, written by Nikolai Gogol, the Russian author. Chapter 5 and 6, Gogol grows to despise his name, deeply embarrassed by his namesake. The name is not linked to any part of his identity. He does not know the story of his father's accident. When he is 18, he goes to probate court in 1986 and decides to legally change his name to Nikhil. His parents react negatively, but also finally gives in, saying in America, anything is possible. Do as you wish. Gogol now goes to Yale University as a student of architecture and introduces himself as Nikhil. Gogol meets with his first love, Ruth, dates together for more than 2 years. They break up when Ruth spent a semester to study in Oxford, England. Nikhil's escape from the word Google is still incomplete, as every weekend he travels home, where his family stubbornly persists in calling him by his pet name Google. Ashok informs Google of the reason behind his name and his own train accident in India in 1961. In 1994, then Google was 26 years old guy. Google resided in a small apartment in New York after he graduated from the architecture program at Columbia University. His escape is pushed one step further, living in New York after having finished an architecture degree at Columbia University. Then Google falls in love with a sophisticated young art historian, Maxine Ratliff, of wealthy parents, Gerald and Lydia Ratliff. Google moves into their house. It becomes the replacement of his own home. He feels fascinated by Ratliffs and their wealth. Asima requests Google to join them before Ashok left for a 9 months fellowship. But Google does not spend much time in his own house to satisfy his mother's request. Google opts for a brief lunch stop with Maxine on their trip to her parents' lake house at New Hampshire. He always gives company to the mother's parents and grandparents of his beloved Maxine Ratliff. Google never felt in growing up divided between two cultures. Chapter 7, Oshima addressing Christmas cards receives a sudden call at 3 p.m. from Ohio. Ashok calls her and tells her that my stomach has been bothering since morning. Ashok Ganguly, her husband, has expired from a heart attack. That it has been massive, that all attempts to revive him has now failed. Gogol's escape with Ratliff's is cut short when his father dies at heart attack. Ashok has been living in Ohio, far from Oshima and his children at that time. Gogol rushes to Ohio, identifies the dead body of his father Ashok. Struck by tragedy, Gogol returns to his family, finding comfort in Bengali traditions he had once rebelled against. Sonia, Gogol's sister, chooses to stay with Oshima for a short period of time. A year after Ashok's death, Gogol drifts away from Maxine and he stops seeing her. In this way, their relationship breaks up. Chapter 8. Later, Gogol returns to New York and prepares for a registration exam to become a licensed practitioner in architecture. Then Google starts a new relation with a married woman, Bridget, whose husband lives in Massachusetts, and she comes to his apartment to have only sex. It is just a casual relationship, not a serious one. Google soon ends the affair when he feels guilty of Bridget's betrayal of her husband. Now, Osima encourages Google, and encouraged by Osima, Google goes on a date with Mosumi Mojumdar, one of the Bengali children. Soon they become friends, meet at different places, having dinner, sometimes lunch or drinks. She confides in Google that she never liked any Indian men for dating. Once she fell in love with an American guy, Graham, living in Paris for a year. They lived together in Manhattan, hiding their romance from Mousumi's parents. Finally, the family agree to their plan of wedding. They break up when Mousumi once overheard Graham talking about how unhappy he had been with her family in India. Then Mousumi falls in love with Google and he wants to marry him. Chapter 9 and 10. Within a year of dating, Google and Mousumi are now married in Bengali ceremony in New Jersey, planned and managed by their parents. Happy at first enough, they go to Paris in March together. Mousumi is presenting a paper in a conference and remains busy with her friends, and Google feels out of place among Mousumi's friends. She even reveals to her friends how Google had changed his name to Nikhil. Google feels betrayed by her sudden sharing these intimate details about his past. Soon, small remembrance of Mousumi's past with her ex-fiancé Graham begin to trouble their marital relationship. Mousumi, who is a very independent type of uh, girl, who is also a French PhD candidate, has always wanted her own freedom. In the end, she has an affair with an old crush, Dimitri Desjardins. They meet on Mondays and Wednesdays after she teaches her class. Google does not suspect anything first, but Mousumi finds it very difficult to sleep at night and often spends the whole night awake in bed next to her husband. These are the last chapters, 11 and 12. Google knows nothing of his wife's affair with Dimitri. Mousumi is at a conference at Palm Beach and he has been all alone for the weekend. Now there is a family together where we find all the family members meet in Pemberton Road. That is Google, Mousumi, Osima, Sonia, Sonia's boyfriend, Bain, and Mousumi's parents and brother. Over the course of a night in bed together, Mousumi confessed to Google the whole story about how she met Dimitri and how she came to be having an affair. Now they decide to get divorced. Chapter 12 begins in 2000 before Christmas. Osama is nostalgic for Christmas parties of the past, and it is her last Christmas on the Pemberton Road. Sonia is accompanied by her new fiancé Ben, celebrating one final Bengali Christmas Eve in their home. Osima has decided to live for 6 months every year in Calcutta and 6 months in the United States with her children and friends. We also learned from Osima that Google and Mousumi decided to get a divorce, and Sonia and Ben are going to be married in Calcutta within a year. In the Christmas party, all of Osima's friends are present, and Google goes upstairs as his mother ordered him to bring a camera to take photos of the Christian Christmas party. He goes upstairs to his old bedroom, finds a book in his own room, a copy of the collected short stories of Nikolai Gogol that his father Ashok had given him as a birthday present years before, and when Google wanted an escape from that name. But now there will soon be no one to call him by that same name, Google. He now feels a strong desire to reach out towards his past once more. Now he sees the inscription his father has written inside the book. The man who gave you his name from the man who gave you your name. So this is the significance of the title, because Google's name Ashok has taken from another writer, that is Russian author Nikolai Gogol. When some other's name is given to one's own, it is called namesake. So here is the significance of the title. Google sits on his childhood bed and writes his father's most favorite author story, The Overcoat. So this is the irony eh, found here, because earlier Google wanted an escape from that name. Now he feels strongly love for his father Ashok, whom he is missing very much right now. So there are some of the themes of the novel: identity, the struggle to find one's place between two cultures, feeling not fully Indian nor fully American. Family, the importance of family ties, the conflicts and bonds between generations, and the impact of familial expectations on individual lives. Belonging, the idea of belonging and searching for a sense of home both physically and emotionally. Immigrant experience, the novel shows the challenges and experiences faced by immigrants, including cultural clashes, nostalgia for their homeland, and the process of assimilation into a new culture. Cultural heritage, the novel also shows the significance of cultural heritage and traditions and how they shape individual identity and relationships. And then there is the significance of the meaning of names and identity. Google's journey is a quest to reconcile his past with his present, to find meaning in his name. At last, he realizes that his name is not just a label, but a testament to his heritage, his family sacrifices, and the enduring bonds that transcend time and distance. So now we come to the concluding part of the novel. The Namesake is a powerful exploration of the immigrant experience, the complexities of identity, and the universal desire for connection and belonging. Through the lens of Ganguly family's journey, Jhumpa Lahiri crafts a narrative that resonates with readers of all backgrounds, reminding us of the importance of understanding and embracing our roots while forging our new paths in the world. As Google's story unfolds, we are reminded that our names are more than mere words. They are a reflection of who we are, where we come from, and the legacy we leave behind. So, this is all about the summary of the namesake. Thank you for your patient watching. If you have any queries, questions, and suggestions, please do comment in the comment box, and please do like and subscribe my channel. Thank you. I shall very soon come with a new episode. Thank you once again.